The birth of New York City Football Club was announced on May 21st, 2013, becoming the 20th franchise in Major League Soccer. While the push for the postseason came up short, the inaugural campaign has been memorable and laid the foundation for what promises to be a bright future for the Big Apple's own New York City Football Club.
Good afternoon all. Thank you very much for coming today. It's a really exciting day for myself and the football club. To be honest, I'm here the last few weeks and I'm really exciting. I can't wait to start the preseason, and we have a really exciting season ahead, and I'm really looking forward to a successful season. Growing up and born in Senegal, really never crossed my mind coming to manage a team in New York.
Welcome.
Thank you. How are you? You okay?
I am.
You all right? All good?
Yeah. Train. Thinking in the new year.
And of course, growing up in Paris, in France, even that I wasn't thinking about coming to New York one day, and that's just showing you sometimes life taking you to places you never think about, you never dream about.
Wanted to formally welcome you, Patrick, to New York City FC.
It was quite really important for me to come over straight away to New York when the announcement was made, because I really wanted to face every single one of you here, just to let you know how proud I am and how exciting I am about this new challenge. Because I remember coming to his office a few years ago, it was only 10, 15 people, and now it's unbelievable. So that's just showing how the football club is getting bigger and bigger. And for me, it's a privilege to stand up in front of you and to tell you that I will be managing New York City. The last few years been really important, finding what I wanted to achieve after my playing career. And today I'm in one of the nicest cities in the world, doing what I love, doing my passion, and I'm really privileged.
Let that create a gap to go to the side. You both travel to the side, I expect on here, and then we come into moving again.
It is a massive challenge, massive challenge. This is the reason why it's important for me to have right people around who know the MLS really well. But at the end of the day, it's just about taking information on board, learning, and I'm prepared to do it. I'm quite a really open-minded, and I believe that I have the right people around me to guide me to success.
To be asked by Patrick Vieira to be a part of his team that he assembled to come over here was a real privilege, really.
You're working off your toes a little bit now, okay? So it's a little bit more dynamic than before.
Being at Manchester City for nearly 7 seasons, and then being asked to come over here was very inspirational for me. My experience of pre-season was me getting to use my interpersonal skills to build relationships with the guys and get to know a little bit about them and what makes them tick and what they would want from me and my job role. For me, it was a really interesting time, and I think that's the best part. That's the real, where you see the team coming together and relationships building and the guys seeing what we're about and what they're about. So for me, it was a really good time.
I've been part of his coaching staff for the last 4 seasons now, so we know each other pretty well. I knew him also when he was still a player, and I learned how professional and how really humble in the intelligent way he is. And so my role is clear, is to help him to implement his philosophy, his football philosophy, is to help to implement his ideas, and so to assist him in that and to make sure that the players are really clear about what they have to do individually and collectively.
He always listens. He always gives you time for your opinion. He doesn't always take your opinion. He always makes his own decisions, but he'll always, it's one of the best things about working with him, he always gives everyone the opportunity to give their opinion, and then he makes the final decision.
Oh, I learned an incredible amount. I mean, he's so meticulous and detailed in everything he does, and for me doing my role, it's perfect because we try not to miss, and we don't miss anything particular down to the finest detail. He's so exact and meticulous.
Inside, use the inside.
Patrick is a huge figure in soccer, you know. Being able to work with someone like him is a big inspiration, you know. It's really interesting because when you think about someone of his profile, you know all the things that he has achieved, and you know that he has that special talent, but at the same time you don't realize how hard he works. Only when you are next to him you realize that fact. A coach with his experience is always give a lot of stability and a lot of confidence to the team.
For me, the most, I'd say, refreshing part of him is that he's extremely patient and he's extremely humble. And I think to be a great manager, you have to be both. And so I think when you look at how he's embraced this project and the level of teaching and detail that has to go into working with our players, working with MLS players relative to maybe other environments, you can imagine his type of mentality, demeanor is critical to being able to communicate those messages.
What are your thoughts on Patrick Vieira?
I think he's going to be great for us. Obviously, played against Patrick, obviously one of the greatest probably players in the Premier League modern era, without a doubt. People have been great players, don't always want to go and do the dirty stuff, and I think he's worked with the kids on, cold Manchester mornings over the back of the training ground. I've seen him do it, so I think he's certainly stripes there. So for us, I think he's going to up our level. I hope he will, and the players will respect him. And when he speaks, they'll listen because of what he's done in the game.
You know, it's exciting. It's an exciting moment because we have been working together so hard to get to this point. And we know how important it is to start well at the beginning of the season.
Obviously, Patrick played at the highest level in the game, and we were talking about this kind of feeling before the game. And I think you need to have that kind of, they call butterflies in your stomach. They are the signal that you really care about what's coming.
As a first game, nervous, anxious, because you want everything to be perfect and you want everything to go the way that you plan it. And of course, as a first game, you always want to do well. It was important for the teams to come out of the game and having a really good feeling. So yes, you're a little bit nervous, anxious, and confident at the same time, because the team's been working really well, it's been working really hard. So it was all this kind of feeling at the same time.
For me, Patrick thrives on pressure. That's who he is as an individual. That's how he won things as a player. He has an instilled mentality, a winning mentality, and I think in time that rubs off on you.
Now McNamara. Matarrita down the right, but McNamara the shot! And it's in! Tommy McNamara will have the first goal for 2016, and New York City has the lead 1-0. Chipped by Discaroo. Now Taylor turns and he scores! Tony Taylor gets his first for New York City and puts them back in front. It's 2-1.
I think what is really important is that Patrick has a vision. So I think the players always feel more confident when the coach demands for specific things. All the tactics and all the work that Patrick put together during the preseason came alive in the first game of the season.
Just McNamara into the area, floats it across. Discaroo makes it 4.
It takes a lot to be a coach. It's not always what people think it is. It's just about the motivational side, but it's the detail, it's the hours spent, and again, getting your principles across and getting your philosophy across, because the team represents the coach, and he always knows that. He's the figurehead, he's the visionary, but the team is a representation of the man himself and the team that he's brought with him. So again, the collective, not the individual.
Emotion. I think you think about all the hard work that players, staff doing in the preseason, and then when you look at the way that the first game went, the way that we played, the number of chances that we create, the number of goals that we create, and people who really enjoyed watching the game. And it's a good feeling, really good feeling. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the group. I learned a lot about my staff. I learned a lot about the game. It was a really, really good year for me, where I understand a little bit better the way and what I want from the players. I know even better the staff now, because we went through a really difficult period during the season where we didn't give up. We've been supporting each other, and most importantly, we reinforced the messages that we wanted from the players. And we didn't change the way we see the game. We didn't change our philosophy. We stick to our principle, and we work even harder, and that was a really important sign for me regarding the staff. We know the way we want to play the game. We believe that we have a stronger team than last year. I'm going to be really demanding on players, because we need to perform, we need to win games, because we are representing one of the biggest cities in the world.